Right, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Just waiting to see that we have people on watching before we begin our wonderful, awesome show. We have something very exciting um, this today, and so just want to make sure everyone is on and live so we can have this discussion. By the way, in case you don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Mercy. Oh, I see three people. Okay, so you're starting to come in. Great. I'm Dr. Mercy, and welcome to Q&A with Dr. Mercy. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing well. And thank you for joining in. Like I always like to start, want to ask, where are you guys viewing this broadcast from? So if you could write down in the comments section, where you're viewing us from, we'll greatly appreciate it. Again, I'm Dr. Mercy, and today is going to be a wonderful show. I actually have this is going to be a discussion show. I know we haven't had one of like this in a while. I have one of the greatest experts when it comes to the brain that we've had before on this Q&A with Dr. Mercy. It's Dr. David Ajibade. He is the CEO of Brain and Body Foundation, which does wonders for people in Africa, particularly in Nigeria. So he has decided to give us some of his time so we can talk about the mind and gut. There is a connection between the mind and your gut, and we wanted to discuss more about that. So it looks like people are writing in. So let me see. Hi, Kathy Church. You're from Cincinnati. Welcome, welcome. Patricia, how are you? Wisconsin, how are you? Um, Desiree Pearson, you're from Texas. Oh, welcome, neighbor. I'm here in Texas too. New York, great. Asheville, North Carolina, awesome. Hello, Atlanta, how are you? Okay. Spokane, Washington, I remember you. How are you? Nice, welcome. Thanks for joining. Maryland, Connecticut, Illinois, New Jersey. Okay, you're from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Well, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining in. Again, I'm just going to talk about the topic. Today, we have a great topic on board. We are going to be talking about the mind and its connection with our gut. Of course, all the organ systems, there's a connection somehow, but just what is the connection between the mind and the gut? It's going to be very interesting dialogue. Um, Thank you. You call me beautiful. Thank you. It's going to be very interesting dialogue. And so let's jump right in. Um, like I said, our guest, Dr. David Ajibade, Mind and Brain and Body. I always keep on saying Mind and Body. Brain and Body Foundation. Let me bring him in and let's have this discussion. Hello, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
I
Can
can
you?
hear you. Oh, it looks
Okay.
like there's an echo here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a static. I hope this does not. I don't know if it's me. I have a computer right behind me, so let me turn that off. Maybe that will help with the static. Let me turn it off just a moment here. Thank you for joining in, Dr. Ajibade. And so
Sure thing.
I was telling our viewers about your foundation, Brain and Body Foundation. Can you discuss a little bit more about what you're exactly doing? Because you're doing a lot of wonderful things with that foundation, and I just wanted to let the viewers know. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hello?
Can you hear me
Can you
now?
hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. It's not working.
Okay. I was asking what I was asking about your
Hello?
foundation, the Brain
Hello?
and Body Foundation. You guys are doing a number of wonderful things in that foundation. And so I wanted to
Hello?
see if you can can you hear me?
Okay, how about now? Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like there's
Okay.
yeah,
Can,
let's
can
see.
audience? Can you guys hear us? I hope you guys can hear us. Can you hear me, Dr. David Ajibade?
Yeah, I can hear you, but there's a bit of an echo. There's still a lot of an echo. Let me see if I can get my head.
Okay. As he does so, we can continue on um, talking. And so, if you have any questions about the mind and the thank you, Tisha, thank you so much. If you have any questions about the mind and the gut connection, let us know. Also, I've been talking with you guys. It's been an awesome dialogue. If you have any health questions that or health topics that you would want us to talk about in future sessions, also jot that down in the comment section as well, so that we could be able to talk about different various topics that you want to know more about. This is almost like a free consultation in a way where we could talk about general topics. We just can't really talk specifically about your case, but we can talk about general topics. So feel free to jot down any other health conditions that you would want us to discuss. Dr. Ajibade, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Um,
I think this static, we're just going to have to deal with it a little bit because I don't know if there's any way to troubleshoot that.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so as I was asking earlier, you have this wonderful foundation. It's called the Mind and Body Foundation. Excuse me, Brain and Body Foundation. I said I was not going to say mind, and then I say it. It's called the Brain and Body Foundation. Does wonderful things, especially for people in Africa. Could you just give a brief discussion exactly what your foundation is all about, so that people will know?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me to the show. So it's called the Brain and Body Foundation. We started about 2015. So that's going on 8 years.
Yeah.
And we first started with children, with brain disorders like cerebral palsy, seizure disorders, autism. And I think the way we started was we went to the big national hospital in Abuja, which is the capital of Nigeria. We said, listen, you guys have all these kids with severe brain disorders, cerebral palsy, for whatever reason. And we said we would like to help. And I knew about things that we could with their brain, uh, with their brain and their emotions. So we just went there. We just speak to the mothers, physical therapists, and we just help them see omega 1, omega 3. Now the results we did not expect results like that we eventually saw. I mean, many of the mothers came back and they were like, "Wow, this helped their kids in so many different ways. It's accelerated their development. It's helped to reverse some damage. Kids who couldn't walk began to walk, or couldn't crawl began to crawl, began to speak, they began to their emotional development opened up. So that was just the start of one of the wonderful things that happened. And so, with the help of our friends here in the U.S., we just kept on getting more and more nutrients and nutraceuticals, and just began to expand what we're doing. And then we went to the government, and the government gave us the go ahead to treat kids using these nutrients. And then, for a long story short, adults started coming our way too because they found out the results were they heard about the results we were getting, and they thought that if we could get results in children, we could get them in adults as well. So we kind of morphed into both children and adults center. So we treat stroke, memory problems, and of course dementia using the tools that we're fortunate to find out about. So that's what it's called, the Foundation. And obviously, we don't have the tools and the resources and the expertise that you all in the US enjoy. So we really had to force ourselves to really learn the first principle, so to speak, how to really think in terms of what the brain needs and how to supply that in the simplest, safest form. And so in a way, it's been a blessing, not having all the great resources because, like I said, it's forced us to to really master the fundamentals for the speaker.
Okay,
So
great. 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 Yeah, that's awesome. So, and if someone wants to know more about your foundation, what is the website that they can go to learn more?
it's called the Brain Foundation, brainedbyfoundation.org, and it's on all social media platforms as well. So a lot of our
Okay.
information is there.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk more about the brain and its connection with the gut. Can you still see me when I do this? Am I still visible to you or no?
I don't see you.
Okay, that's fine. So, I'm sorry. It's because the static. I'm trying to look for ways to. So okay, let's talk about the brain and gut. Um, how is the brain and gut connected when it comes to bodily functions in general?
Yeah, that's one of the big discoveries uh, of, I guess, the last 10 years or 20 years, 20 years. Um, so the gut really is called the second brain. Uh, it has more nerves than any other organ in the body than the brain. It has more nerves than the spinal cord. So it's extremely well innervated, and there's a big connection between the brain and the gut. The primary connection is through a nerve called the vagus nerve. Nobody needs to remember that. But there are also other nerves that take information and nerve impulses back from the brain to the gut and the gut back to the brain. But the interesting thing is that 90% of the information is from the gut to the brain, as opposed from the brain to the gut. That's counterintuitive. You would think that it's the brain that should be given the bulk, the load, the largest share of information should come from the brain because the brain is the commandant, so to speak. So that you would think that the brain is the one supposed to be given all the instructions, but it's really the other way around. The gut is giving feedback to the brain. And what does that mean in real life? It says that the the gut, so our food, our immune system, and we'll probably get to that later. But a lot of the things that we sense in our guts, even emotions, are transferred from the guts to the brain, and that's where it's processed. And we'll probably get to serotonin and dopamine and all that. But many of the feelings that we have, they sort of start in the guts, and then it's now translated to the brain. We always think it starts in the brain, but we're beginning to find out that it's really the other way around.
Hmm. So it's really the gut that influences the brain. Is that what you're saying?
That's kind of what we're finding out. Yes, the gut
Hmm.
influences the brain. Yeah,
So I was going to say that mental health, if you have any mental health issues such as stress or if you have depression, does that have any effects on gut health or it's really the gut health having effects causing you to have these, you know, mental health issues?
so that you bring up a very interesting point. Is it the chicken or the egg? Um, I think it's, and really the research bears that out. So obviously you have maybe someone disappoints you, you perceive, you have a sense of loss, you lost a loved one, that you perceive that in the brain, obviously, but that also translates to the gut. It affects the gut as well. It affects not just the digestive system, but it also affects what we call microbes in the gut. But it's also the other way around too. If you're if maybe you're eating the wrong kinds of food, or you're not sleeping well, or your gut is in disarray, you're having constipation, or there are other things going on in your body that your mind may not perceive as. see, emotionally, it eventually does become emotion because of what is going on in your gut. So illnesses, and we know things like cancer, for instance, the body begins to sense it even in the gut. There's something going on in the bodies even before your mind picks it up. So without getting too technical, it's two ways. You can sense something in your mind as a result of, like I mentioned, weight loss, but you can also sense things in your gut as a result of chemical imbalances. And yeah, that's another example. Your hormonal imbalances can also result in gut problems, which can also transmit to the brain. That's a bit complicated. So, are you still getting a lot of static there? For some reason, there's still a bit of an echo. Can you hear me? It looks like we've lost Dr. Mercy.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. I
Okay, I
can
can
hear
hear you
you.
now.
It's just I've tried to deal with the static. It's been very staticky, and I apologize for those who are still watching us. It has been very staticky. I've even seen. Are you next to a computer by any chance? Sometimes when you're next to a computer, it can cause a static sound.
The only thing I'm next to is my phone. And just see if I can click my.
Yeah, maybe if you put the phones away from the computer, sometimes that can help. Okay. I'm so sorry, you guys, for the technical difficulties. This has been an issue when it comes with the platform we'll be using. We may have to use another platform. Um, Dr. Ajibade, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, still the staticky is still there. Okay, so this may limit how much we, talk in this session. I'm so sorry. We may have to do this at another video and then upload this video because what you're saying is very um, gold, and unfortunately, because of the static, we're not able to hear so much. Um, uh, thank you, Tisha. Great information. Yeah, this is great information. So um, the effects such as sleep, how does that play? Okay, so if I'm sorry, I was going to ask that question, but before I ask that question, so if the gut kind of affects the brain, okay, that means that likely what we're eating indirectly affects our brain function. So what are some of the foods that can help optimize our brain function through the gut? And what are some of the foods that, you know, obviously helps impair our brain function? And yeah, let me ask that question.
Great question. So it really comes down to what we've always known, right? Eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, all vegetables and fruits. Because in the final analysis, it's about the health of your microbes, the good bacteria in your gut. And I think we don't emphasize that as we should, especially as medical practitioners. The microbes, and we have a lot of bacteria, not just bacteria, but the viruses and bacteria, viruses, fungi, other even worms. It's really a lot of stuff in there. But mainly bacteria, and they're now finding that we have as many, or even in some cases twice as many bugs living in our bodies as we have human cells. And these bugs, especially the good ones, they need to be fed as well. But what they feed on is beneficial to us because they break it down into things that help our brain. You probably heard about ketone bodies, about the ketogenic diet as is the rave these days. But we can produce ketones in our bodies simply by taking uh, foods containing a lot of fiber, mainly soluble fiber. Well, our bodies can't digest them. Our bodies don't really need the fiber, but the microbes need them to survive. And once we give it to them, and most of these microbes are in the large intestine, once you give it to them, they digest it and they produce all kinds of wonderful chemicals, including foreign bodies, which are very beneficial. They're anti-inflammatories, but they also help to feed the brain. I notice that whenever I take fish fiber, I mean, I take fiber, I just get it man from Whole Foods. I don't bother buying all the salads and fruits and vegetables, although I should. But I like to shortcuts. So I get mine from Whole Foods, and it comes in fiber, it comes in flakes, and I put it with water. In fact, I have some here that I'm drinking. You probably can't see it. Okay, yeah, you can see that now. I mean, this is that's the fiber at the bottom, and I mix with something else, and it like I said, the bugs digest it, and they create and they make metabolites, which are extremely beneficial to the brain. Now, on the other hand, bad foods, processed foods, trans fats, um, was the other one again? Trans fats and seed oils, canola oil, fried, all these fried oils contain a lot of omega six and very harmful chemicals, quite frankly. And then sweet stuff. There are bacteria that enjoy these things as well, but they're not so good bacteria, and they eat it and they eat it and they multiply, and they in turn also digest these bad stuff. They create bad stuff, create bad metabolites in our bodies as well, which can cause damage and harm to our brain. So it's better. We need to understand and know what is good for our bugs, so we can eat more of what's good for our bugs and avoid the things that are bad or the things that are bad for our good bugs. The things that the bad bugs we need to avoid that altogether. I hope that's not too.
So great. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I guess I'm going to, maybe ask this last question. And that is, as you're talking about what is good for, we need to eat more, what is good for our gut and the flora of our gut. How do we promote good health and gut health and good flora? What are some of the stuff you already gave an example of what you're drinking, which I couldn't hear because of the static. Can you say that again? What exactly were you drinking?
It's called psyllium husk flakes, and then I mix it up with a brain powder that I include. So and I do that in water and vitamin C. Vitamin.
Okay.
But it's
Is
mainly
there
the
a
fiber. It's soluble fiber.
is there a way you can introduce good flora or good bacteria into your system?
Yes. So different companies have store packets in pills or in capsules or in powders. Again, there's a lot of charlatans out there. So I would say 95% of what is out there is really not the best. You really have to check the right kinds. You need to do a lot of stuff. So they're called probiotics. So there are different things you have to look out for in a good probiotic.
Okay. And again, the staticky situation, I'm not really hearing a lot, but from what you're saying, yes, you can introduce good bacteria into your GI flora, and in those products that are typically called probiotics. Did you mention that?
Yeah, probiotics.
Yeah, and that you can see a lot. You can buy these probiotics in different stores, local stores nearby you. Sometimes these probiotics are in foods such as yogurt. They sometimes contain some of the probiotics. Normally, they'll have them in pill form or liquid. These probiotics, something to kind of introduce the flora. Because I do know as a physician, a lot of some of the diseases that we get, that people come in, is when it comes to the GI health, and it's usually could be due to their flora and their GI being imbalanced. And so you have diarrhea, for example. Some of the diarrheas that people come in with is due to imbalanced flora. When you take long-acting antibiotics, they can affect your flora in your GI. And so, maybe after a diarrheal episode, doing a brief trial of these probiotics by taking them, ingesting them in, can help kind of restore the normal GI flora. Yeah, and did you say examples of foods that can help promote gut health as well? Again, the static was inhibiting me, but if you could repeat that.
I mean, the foods that can promote gut health.
That can good health, gut health, good gut health, which will indirectly promote brain health.
Yeah, so the fiber, the sodium that's probably the number one thing because it feeds the good bacteria, and then the good bacteria in turn produce chemicals that are very helpful as well. So that would be the first and most important thing. The other things that the bugs in the gut need are vitamin D3 and vitamin B, and then some other things. But I believe those two more important than anything else. I think zinc is very important too for the to give a healthy gut.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So I'm looking at the comments. Thank you, those who have been asking questions. One LinkedIn user said, "I've heard or I hear that sugar is dangerous to our body. Is there any literature or science to confirm or deny this?" Would you like to tackle that?
Yeah. Sugar contains glucose and fructose. So there are two things. Excess sugar is probably what we're concerned about. Everybody needs glucose and fructose to some extent, but more glucose because glucose is what helps to our bodies generate energy. Now the problem is that we take much more sugar than our bodies can handle, and so what happens is that the sugar, the excess sugar that our body can't handle, gets converted into fat, which gets into the liver, which causes what they call fatty liver after over a period of time. It gets stored around the organs in the gut. It's called visceral fat. It's stored under the skin, and it's stuck there. It isn't really released. And the more fat you have in your gut and in your liver, the more inflammation you will have in your body. And this inflammation is particularly bad for the brain, for the heart, for the blood vessels, and for the kidneys. So sugar on its own is not bad in the truest sense, but it's bad because of it accumulates in the body. The problem is that we take too much of it and we don't burn enough of it. In other words, we're not as active as we were when we were in our teenage years or 20s. We just sit down all day, we go to work, we're in a car all day. Oh, I'm sorry, we're at the office, the desk all day. We get in the car, we get back home, we're in front of the TV, and the cycle continues. So we do not burn the sugar like we should. So that is the problem. We take too much sugar. We don't use up this sugar. This sugar gets stored, and it causes a problem. This stored sugar in our bodies, which is fat, gets becomes a problem on its own that affects our organs. Okay, so not hearing you now. Did I? Looks like I'm muted. Am I muted too? I'm not hearing myself either. Yeah, not hearing at all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, David. Can you hear me, David, now? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Let me add you back to stream. I was because there's been just so many technical difficulties, and this is a very, very important topic. I'm really, really, really wanting to repeat this again because I could not hear a lot of the things that you said, so it's very difficult to go back and forth with you when I'm just hearing static. But hopefully the audience, some of the audience said that they were hearing it and it was very important information. So we're definitely going to have to do this again if you have time, please, because I think that this was really important. But we will record it and then just upload it. But thank you so much, Dr. Ajibade. I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you for being with
No
us
problem.
today.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
See you. Bye. So thank you guys so much for being with us. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. We are going to figure out if we have to use another software. We will. It's just been very staticky, but this is a very, very good topic. Thank you, Dr. David Ajibade. Again, go to his Brain and Body Foundation. I believe it's www.brainandbodyfoundation.org, where you will be able to see a lot of what his foundation does. They do wonderful work. It's not actually only brain, they also deal with sickle cell disease. And they're doing this research for people in Africa and helping them to, get empowered with their lives, and wonderful, wonderful testimonies of the different improvements in the patients once they've used the different supplements and treatments that this foundation has given to these people, usually underserved people. So again, this is Dr. Mercy with Q&A with Dr. Mercy. Until next time, bye.